So we've got a little Mercury 2.2 here. They were made, they weren't made by Mercury. They were made by some Eastern manufacturer and badged by numerous makers. Anyway, this one's a Mercury. It's 2.2, the smallest one I think. There are various slightly higher powered versions, and apparently the only difference is a restriction in the carburettor. Now, to get into the thing, first of all you pull this cover off from underneath. It's, I forget which side it was on. It's only held on with a couple of little rubber grommets, and underneath it there is a spare shear pin and split pin for the prop. There's a row of two pairs of Phillips or JIS screws along the top. You don't have to undo them all, you just undo them from one side. You also undo a screw in the side here, two screws in the side here, and one of the pair that is underneath. There are also two number 3 posies under there, and then you can pull the cover away. That's the grommet that the other cover snaps into. This side, you just undo those two screws and you can take the cover off. Don't drop it in the sea. Now, the guy I got this engine from told me that he bought it over 20 years ago, probably used it for a couple of seasons in freshwater only, and reckons it's done less than 20 hours service. And I believe him, because it's absolutely like brand new inside. That's that out of the way. Now, there are two reasons why I've taken this thing back off. First of all, the guy who I got it from told me there was no spark. He was right, there was no spark. But also, because he'd used it so long ago for the last time, carburettor was full of 2-stroke oil and no petrol, and the fuel pipe had degraded terribly. So I replaced it with a much better quality fuel pipe, and then found the fuel pipe so thick that you can't get the cover on the side. So I'm going to have to do that again. Now, the carburettor is held on with one pinch screw, and it just undoes. It has a barbed hose connector with a slot in the top of it so you can unscrew it. But don't, leave it alone, because that is also the float chamber valve. Inside there was an O-ring. Other than that, it was a smaller one, but right from brand new the O-ring had been misshapen, so the carburettor had been drawing air in. That's the wrong O-ring. I bought a packet of the correct sized ones. Now, these O-rings are the same size as the original, the one I took off, 18mm by 1.5mm section. So we'll just pop one of those in there right now. And when you put the carburettor back on, slide it onto the port. Make sure it's correctly aligned, and then push it hard until you screw up that pinch screw, because that is the only seal that you get. So now I've got this pipe, thinner one. So before we forget, I'm putting on a nice decent quality hose clip. Round at the other side now, the tank side has a little plastic petrol tap. Now, don't just go and pull the pipe off, because you will probably break the tap. Cut the pipe away, pare it away carefully until you're nearly through it. come off much more easily and much more safely. Let's see, that just goes into there. Hose clip on. Fuel tank is held on with two 10mm headed screws. Also have number 3 Phillips slots in the top. It also has a little metal bushing which is very easily lost, one in both sides. Now under the recoil starter, which is held on by a couple more of these 10mm headed things, is the flywheel. I've had it off once already, and I do have a reason to take it off again, because when I first started tinkering with this engine, no spark, tested the plug was fine. Must be the coil then. So I took the coil off and put a different coil on of something else. Still no spark. How odd. Must be the pickup coil under the flywheel. Anyway, the catch plate for the recoil starter is held on to the flywheel with 3 10mm headed screws, which is very handy because you have the 3 screws for the puller. Well, I made this puller years ago. I think it was for Tinzani engines, and it's pulled countless flywheels off. But strangely enough, the PCD, the pitch circle diameter of the holes on this Mercury engine are slightly bigger than the ones on the engines that I've normally worked on. Seems to be a 20mm radius, and the other ones seem to be a 19mm radius. And for years I've intended to cut a circle out of it and put a proper handle on it, and never got around to it. In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to go and do it now. The flywheel nut has a 17mm head. You will need a thin-walled socket, and the easiest way to get these nuts off is with an impact wrench. Always, always, always. Saves any damage to the flywheel. People stick screwdrivers in and get a spanner on, and they always break something. So here we are with my newly modified smart puller. 3 screws in there. Then with my puller, whip the flywheel off. Careful not to lose the key. Always watch out for the key. And then, good God, shock of shocks. It's got points and a condenser. Well, that really surprised me. I wasn't expecting it at all. And there was a lot of picked up metal on the points. So I filed it down with a diamond file, put the thing back together, and we got it working. Could do with a little drop of oil on that felt pad. Youngsters don't know about points and condensers. But I never tested the condenser, so that's why I've taken the top off to see if we've got a good condenser, because I don't know where I get points and condenser for this. Could really do with converting to electronic ignition, but I don't have time today. 5.5mm nut and bolt on the points. So now I've exposed the wire from the condenser. So what I'm going to do is test the condenser, and to do that I'm using a cheap capacitance meter. A lot of modern multimeters have capacitance ranges anyway, but mine ain't modern, so I bought a capacitance tester, which is just fine. I had it calibrated by a friend who's able to calibrate such things, He said it's just fine, but the leads that came with it were useless, and we didn't get any readings. So I'm using the leads off my Fluke. So with the meter connected up to the condenser, it's showing 1/4 of a microfarad, which could well be within the acceptable range for an engine like this. But just because we may have a good condenser, it doesn't mean that it's doing anything, because it may not be in circuit. So with an ordinary multimeter now set to continuity, check that the condenser is actually to ground. Yep. And at the other end we check the condenser wire is actually connected to the points wire, and it is. So everything is hunky-dory. We'll pop the flywheel back on, making sure that the key is there and doing its job. Put the flywheel nut back on in the same fashion that we took it off. Put the whole thing back together. Now, when you put a hose clip on the fuel pipe, just make sure that the screws and any protrusions are at the back, close to the engine, or you won't be able to get the cover back on. And then when you've put all the covers back on, don't forget to replace this cover, and have a look before you try to clip it on, because the spark plug wire gets in the way. And if the spare clip and shear pin are missing, replace them. And under here, at this end of the engine, there is access to the carburetor drain, which is a handy thing if you're going to be putting the thing in a car. Drain it off. So there we are, ready to face the 7 seas again. Hope this video helped you. Thank you for watching.